Hi, it's Raj Papala, co-founder and CEO of Applaa. As a parent, we want to give the best experience for our kids. I've got two kids, 11 plus, and other one is doing GCSE exams. So we've spent a lot of time and a lot of money for tuitions, 40, 50 pounds a class on math, science, and English, and many things. And also we've tried our platforms and people saying, okay, use Atom Learning, iExcel, and this and that. And they're okay, but at the end of the day, you're paying 40, 50 pounds for them, and it's really not working out. It's just like only one, and again, where do you go for the next, right? And it's just like a simple mock exam practice, it's there are so many things you can do. It's not really a comprehensive feedback mechanism tool, right? That's what I think. I got really frustrated with all these tools, and again, spending with teachers and tutors is not really working out. So here, that's why we built Applaa with the vision of actually helping kids as early as, like from year 8 years onwards to all the way to the GCSEs. We've got the whole curriculum built. Again, we've digitalized the whole UK curriculum here. So, and actually we're giving a value only 9.99 a month, 10 pounds, right? What is that? Is the cost of a pizza, even less than that. And so we want to give that a best experience for everyone. You can really see from year 4 to year 11, they can see every single subject, math, they can able to look at this lesson. They can practice but understand the concept first rather than writing an exam for the sake of writing. And then you can able to do a lot of practice also. Then, what is this thing? And then you can see the assessment and whatever you wanted to do. And you can do a lot of things again each year, year 4, year 5, year 6, all the way to there, right? And that's about it. And also you can, once you have there, then probably, most people will go for 11 plus, which obviously you can really see. And yeah, so we have built a comprehensive 11 plus past papers, around 5,000 papers we have. And again, four topics: verbal, non-verbal, math, and English. So you can able to see pretty much everything. You can take exams. Also, you can get the feedback. Also, you can see how many exams you've been taking. And these are the exams I've been taking, verbal reasoning, and also you can really give the feedback by the subject, by lesson, and at least it will give you a really great feedback for the parent and also teacher for obviously if he's having a teacher and also parent and the kid for writing them as well. You can do quite a lot of things as well. So an example, let's take an exam for verbal reasoning. So you can really see that it actually I did an exam math for now before it actually tells you where you got right, where you got wrong. It's really great, right? As a parent, you cannot able to tell, what is the correct answer, right? So you can able to do, and it's brilliant, isn't it? So it just saves a lot of time. A lot of institutions are charging 40, 50 pounds, even for a paper sometimes, cost like that. And we're giving for free 5,000 questions, right? And many unlimited questions and papers they can do, all for 9.99, and they can do practice again if you want to do it. Just simply go and write an exam, and you can able to see submit papers. You can directly see as well, and the results coming through. As an example, let me go back and show the exam as well. So if you see some of the exams what I've done just now, you can see that exam coming through as well. You can really see the results. So it's just brilliant way to actually get the feedback as well as assessments for the kid who is writing the exam and studying, as well as for parents not to spend too much time for them to sit with them and write down exams, and also more importantly the cost. And we'll explain a lot also all of this in subsequent videos. You can also see that as well. I'd really trust this is valuable and take advantage of this offer. It's only 9.99, which is a significantly lower cost. Anyone can able to afford it. It's a cost of a small pizza these days, and compared to 40, 50 pounds a tuition class. And I truly trust this is helpful for you. And yeah, sign up at applaa.com/UK, applaa.com/UK, and register for free. And it's 1 month free as well for you guys. So make use of it. And if you're writing the 11 plus exam, all the best. And again, we'll explain further details also in the subsequent videos. Thank you for watching.
Welcome to the Explainer. If you're deep in the trenches of the 11 plus journey right now, you absolutely know the drill. The late nights, the endless stacks of practice papers. But what happens when all that grueling hard work just stops paying off? Today, we're tackling a super frustrating but honestly incredibly common issue, the 11 plus mock test plateau. We're going to break down some brilliant strategic insights from the Applaa 11 plus Learning Hub to help you finally push past that invisible barrier. Let's get right into it.
So here's the dreaded scenario. You take a mock test, you score a 70%. You take another one, 71%. Another, 69%. I mean, is your score just hovering around the exact same level no matter how many extra hours you're throwing at it? Look, I want to validate that frustration right now. It is utterly exhausting. But here's the secret. Just doing more and more tests when you're stuck like this, it doesn't lead to better results. Honestly, it just leads to burnout. So let's dive into exactly why this happens and, more importantly, how we can actually fix it.
If there's literally one core takeaway you get from our explainer today, let it be this. Don't panic, but absolutely don't just practice more. You've got to practice smarter. Hitting a plateau absolutely does not mean you've reached your maximum potential. Actually, it's a giant flashing neon sign telling you that you need a fundamental shift in how you're approaching your practice. The sheer volume of tests is no longer your friend here. Strategy is.
Okay, moving into our first main section, stop, review, and analyze.
This brings us to the Applaa core loop, which honestly can completely transform a student's trajectory. It goes like this: test, review, improve, and retest. Think about it. If you're just taking one mock after another without deeply analyzing your mistakes, you're literally just practicing how to repeat the exact same errors perfectly. So ask yourself right now, are you actually pausing to figure out why you got a question wrong before rushing off to the next test? After every single test, you really need to be asking, which questions did I miss? Why did I miss them? Are there certain topics that keep popping up in my mistakes? And hey, which questions just took way too long to finish?
Right, let's move on to our next section, diagnosing your mistakes.
So, the first step in diagnosing the problem is spotting patterns across the four main subjects, because those weak areas, they really tend to cluster together. In maths, you'll often see kids stumbling on fractions or those really complex word problems. In English, it's usually comprehension or tricky vocabulary. For verbal reasoning, it's almost always codes and sequences that trip students up, while nonverbal reasoning often comes down to spatial stuff, patterns and rotations. But here's the absolute most crucial point. Do not try to fix everything all at once. That is a one-way ticket to Overwhelmville. Instead, look for the patterns, pick out your single biggest weakness from this list, and just target that one relentlessly.
Because you see, not every wrong answer has the exact same root cause. There's actually a whole distinct psychology behind an incorrect answer. The Applaa framework breaks this down into 5 specific mistake types. First up, we've got the knowledge mistake. This just means, hey, you don't fully understand the topic yet, and that's totally fine. Then there's the method mistake. You tried to solve it, but you just used the wrong approach. Next to those incredibly frustrating, careless mistakes. You totally knew the answer, but oops, you dropped a 0. A timing mistake means you got it right, but it took you way too long, which eats into your overall score. And finally, the misreading mistake, where you fundamentally misunderstood what the question was even asking you to do. Pinpointing exactly which of these 5 reasons is behind your lost marks, that dictates exactly what your next steps should be.
Which leads us perfectly into our third section, the smarter practice strategy.
Let's look at how this plays out in the real world using the Applaa interface. Let's say you've identified a knowledge mistake in a really specific area. Say, for instance, you're consistently struggling with geometry. What should you do? Should you sit down for another grueling 2-hour full mock test, just hoping you might stumble across 3 geometry questions? Absolutely not. You isolate the weakness, you practice highly targeted questions like finding the area of a triangle with a base of 12 centimeters and a height of 5 centimeters. If you're weak at percentages, well, you practice percentages. By isolating that exact question type, you're building up that knowledge base super efficiently.
But hold on, what if your diagnosis wasn't a lack of knowledge at all, but a misreading or careless mistake? Take a look at a word problem like this, where a baker is arranging 288 cakes into boxes of 12, and then putting a third of those boxes on a shelf. A student might know exactly how to divide and multiply perfectly, but if they rush and misread 1/3 of the boxes as 1/3 of the cakes, bam, they lose the mark. To cure this specific issue, targeted practice doesn't mean doing more math. It means slowing down. It's about practicing the physical act of breaking those complex problems into smaller, really careful steps to ensure you're reading it accurately.
And oh man, this brings us to a massive trap that so many students fall into when they're trying to cure those careless mistakes. They think to themselves, well, I just need to work faster, so I have time to check my answers at the end. Actually, scratch that. It's the exact opposite. This outlines the correct progression you need to follow. Number 1, accuracy. You absolutely, positively must master accuracy first. Only when you are consistently getting the questions right should you ever move to step 2, controlled speed, where you can start to gradually introduce timed practice. And then finally, step 3, exam readiness. Because look, speed without accuracy, that just means you're going to confidently make the wrong choices, just a whole lot faster.
All right, moving into our final section here, setting better goals.
Honestly, this is where the magic really happens.
The old goal mindset is totally outcome-focused. It sounds like, I need to get 10 more marks on this next mock. But let's be real, that goal is stressful, and it's just not actionable. I mean, how do you just magically get 10 marks? You can't. But look over at the new goal. I will reduce my careless mistakes, and I will improve my understanding of fractions. See the difference? That is entirely within your control. You can actually track that. By focusing on making these small, highly specific improvements like maybe finishing one section a bit more efficiently or mastering just one single weak topic, you organically create that massive overall score increase you were chasing in the first place.
And that leaves us with this final, truly empowering thought from the Applaa 11 Plus Learning Hub. Your mock test score isn't just a result. It's a map showing you where to improve next. Seriously, a plateau isn't a brick wall. It's just a section of the map that you haven't quite figured out how to read yet. When you stop obsessing over that final number and you start using the test, analyze, target, and retest loop, the path forward becomes incredibly clear. If you want to start putting this targeted methodology into practice, exploring a tool like the Applaa Learning Hub is an awesome next step. So I'm going to leave you with this one question to think about.